Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time once again for North and South goodness. Now, this is the map. Now, obviously, this is one of the more popular maps, gets played quite a lot. And let's have a look. The Union and Confederate, 98 versus 90. Oh, sorry, 98 versus 100. And, as you can see, everybody is in. So you can see there the 15th Alabamans, Mississippi, Louisiana, Virginia. Oh, so many people in there. And obviously we've got Tennessee, 7th Cavalry, Noonan, who seems to be in with the wrong tag, the United States Marine Corps, the 2nd Wisconsin, and all that funky stuff. Aha, Lieutenant Colonel Happy from North Carolina, complete with Battle Owner. Now, just wanted to draw your attention. There has been a patch recently for North and South. Now, there has been a few little issues occurring, and obviously this is the first game after that patch, so there are a few technical problems to iron out, but don't worry, the developers are on the case. So there is, of course, Colonel Genie, he the owner of the face no one can forget, and this is pretty much, yeah, see, this is the ambush spot that the Confederate State Army loves so much. Now, let's move over to this large battlefield. Now, for those of you who remember this map, this is where the first line battle I commentated on actually took place. Everybody lined up in a great big huge massive line and had a big old shootout, and it looked wonderful. So, doesn't appear to be anything going on over there at the moment, so it's all quiet. Now, you can see here from Connecticut, looking a bit like Beaugest, and of course Brigadier General Sarge is out there as well, looking wonderful in his hat. And we are now, I'm guessing this will be the 7th Cavalry. Now these guys have parked their horses, got to make sure you don't park them on a double yellow so they don't get clamped. And you can see here, Volunteer Lewis Bean. Good day, Mr. Bean. And Private John Morrison, so you can see them all in there with their Springfield rifles, 1894 Springfield rifles. Olaf the Viking also in there as the first lieutenant, and those guys are looking wonderful, along with New York City Corporal Robert Allen. So these guys making use of the available dugout section here, and as you can see, it's doing okay. Looks like the cavalry's decided to pull out. And there's Colonel Reeves from the 2nd Connecticut as the artillery cannons come flying over the top. Now, over here will be the stone bridge. This seems to be one of the most popular areas of outbreaks of fighting on this particular map at any rate. Now, obviously, this is a very thin bridge. It's not easy to get across. And these rifles are a lot more accurate than those done in Napoleonic War era. So they travel with significantly more velocity. Oh dear. Oh god. That's a very bad death position. Or I suppose for his colleagues it does provide easy access. Anyway, we're now looking at over here from Tennessee, Volunteer Bertman. He's in there, Bertman. And obviously Brown Sauce. And over the other side, so let's see. Over on the other side, we have the likes of, from Mississippi, Private Sicilian. Right behind him is Sergeant Tom. Now, out the back here, who is this fine-looking fellow? Captain Hardy as well. So you can see Captain Hardy marshalling his troops around here. These guys are all in the process of firing from behind the cover of these trees. Now you've also got the other Confederate state troops. Let's have a look. There you go. From Virginia. Private... Oh, good God. Well, this broadcaster's degraded to a level that I wasn't expecting. Okay. Anyway. Oh, look, and there's a man behind him. There's a man behind that poor bikini girl with an almighty big chopper. So, let's see. Oh, dear. So, as you can see, these are the guys. Let's see if we can lock in on some of the individual guys. Ah, look at this, all from Louisiana. Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you, Arthur Poshings. So, Colonel Genie, of course, yes, next to a bunch of sailors, which is always makes me think of because of these striped trousers. Very nice indeed. So, and straw boaters as well, by the looks of it. So it's very punting down the river in Thames, so to speak. So, Sergeant McHale, these guys have obviously... These guys have got the Lee Enfield rifles as supplied by, no doubt, the British. And there is General Yannick and his flag holder. Ah, North and South Hinkle. So, North and South Hinkle is moving in with him, holding the colours. And let's see what's going on. Here's Confederate State colours as well. So, as you can see, a few glitches still remain, complete with this fellow. Dark Obama, who is currently legless and trying to reload a bridge. So the fact that, I think because he's lost his legs, he may have also lost his brain, but we cannot confirm that. That is subject to confirmation. And as of course you know, here on the internet we deal only with facts. And proven facts at that. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was irony. It's like Goldie and Bronzy, but with iron in it. And that's a Blackadder joke. Anyway, Lieutenant Gurendis, or Guru Dennis, maybe, from the 7th Cavalry, in there with these guys looking wonderful, really, with their backpacks, their blankets on the back there, as cannonballs coming in from Samuel Shipley. Now, it looks like, yep, looks like fire coming from the Confederate State Army is now hitting some of these guys. Oh dear, Colonel McClellan manages to capture a bullet here. Now guys, don't forget, if for whatever reason you are interested in joining in on these kind of things, there is a forum for exactly these fine regiments on the Flying Squirrel Enterprises forum. I will put you a link at the bottom of this video, as you will want to join these fine fellows, as these guys do love a good game of North and South. So, oh dear. That's a very brave man. It's a very brave man to be standing out in the middle of a field. Lieutenant Colonel Happy from North Carolina. And it looks like the Union troops charging in. Look at this. Isn't this wonderful? Charging into battle. Major General... Oh, poor old Major Weejock hit with a headshot. Oh dear, a couple of them being taken down by the fire coming in from the Confederate State Army, but they are continuing to charge. And you can see now the Confederate State Army that was in here are deciding to cheese it across the wooden bridge, with Union troopers in hot pursuit. Fire coming down the bridge, let's see. Genie turns to fire, pulls out the 6-shooter and makes him back off. And it looks like Genie, oh, fantastic play there by Genie, held up the enemy while his men were able to escape. Good commanding there by Mr. Genie. So, you can see, however, fire is still coming across. This poor sod here, Morgoroth, having to dodge left and right to prevent himself from being shot by the Union troopers on that far side. Let's go and see what's going on. So this appears to be the... Yeah, this is the beach party going on, as you can see. Complete with choppers and bikini bird. So these guys have decided to pick this spot as their defensive point. Oh, can you hear those bullets? Oh dear. Oh dear. Quick team kill in there. So there's Lieutenant Colonel Happy has been cut down by carbon. And there's Lord John, of course. And... oh, crikey. Yep, more people coming in. The odd shirtless individual into battle. They're probably Scottish because they're only wearing shorts and no shirt. And this is bit of a chilly day, so you can tell that because they sometimes hang their hats on their nipples. That's how cold it can get. So, oh dear. So you can see here from North Carolinians in these wonderful uniforms. I do love the combination of the grey and the reds. Very nice indeed. So we're looking at these North Carolinians, and here is the Confederate State Cavalry. So these guys, essentially, they are wandering around the area just to look for an opportunity to try and take out the Union troops. So, let's see. Okay. Thomas Hardy. Looking wonderful. And as we cross the river and make movements towards the Union lines. So here are the Union lines with Burton. And let's see what the numbers are like. 63 versus 75. So the numbers are pretty even today, which is a great thing to see. There's Major Creed from the Tennessee Brigade. And who is this young fellow? Brigadier General Sarge. Now, obviously, because he's out there in the middle of a field, you know it's only a matter of time before he catches a cannonball. So, speaking of cannonballs, Corporal Shipley from Massachusetts. I think it's Massachusetts. No, MD. Let me just double check. I've actually got it all written down here because I can never remember it. So, Maryland. Sorry, not... Oh, dear, sorry. Hit the microphone. Sorry about that. Maryland, not Massachusetts. My apologies, Angron. So, you've obviously got the Cannoneer, Winter Hallis, in there as well. And a Rabid Scotsman. So, you can see there's the artillery train. So these guys are working on the cannons for the Confederate State. There's Private Slayer in there as well, and Samuel Shipley. So these guys are firing at the Union troops with these cannons. The satisfying explosion. Listen to that echo. And smoke. So you can see all these guys in there doing their thing. So, aha! Leader of the United States Marine Corps. Mr. Pork Product himself, yes, of course, the sizzly one, charging into battle, and then noticing where the hell are the rest of my troops. Right, guys, you're supposed to be behind me. You're supposed to be charging into battle. Where the bloody hell are you? Or maybe it's there. I don't know. Anyway, Pork Product is trying to lead his men into battle. And he's going to run into these fellows over here. So here is the United States Marine Corps. As you can see, Shaboinky, great name. Live Shave. And Almanac. If you're at loss for words, continue and look in the Almanac. Ah, there's Recruit Hitman. And, of course, Bacon. Taking cover in the trench area. And there's Lackey. So, let's move over here. Another section, Alabama. So you can see them all loading up, ramming those bullets down the rifles. Now the thing is, I need to double check my information, just to make sure that everything is up to date. I'm not sure if these are cartridge based or if they are actually ramrods. So I will need... Oh! Just see that cannonball come flying over. And in come the Union troops. United States Marine Corps come flying in. The Herminator just got taken down. Oh, dare you. So you can see here, Shaboinky defending. Oh, lovely stab. And Shaboinky takes out poor old Hinkle. There's Hinkle. And then Shaboinky is dropped right next to his recent victim. Oh, look at that. They were holding hands together in death. Isn't that sweet? And in comes General Janik. Looks like he's running into a few people here. So loads of stuff going on. And you can see here Corporal Punisher trying to deal with another Union trooper here. Who is this fine fellow in... It's Almanac. And no looking up his kilt, please. Thank you very much. So I think it's fair to say here that the Confederate State troops have succeeded in their ambush. So we shall wait and see. Now, numbers 5 versus 45. So, we've now got to try and find the remaining Union troopers. This could be one of them. Yep, 63rd New York. And he's dodging the woman in the bikini. Oh, he's going for the bikini. But there you go, you see. Distracted by the bikini. And that was it. It's all over. We shall move on to the next round, bringing you more North and South. And we are back with round 2 of this North and South battle. Now, one of the things that I've been noticing in the comments is some people have said that the Union don't tend to win that often. Now, why would that be? Now, obviously, it could be a combination of tactics. It could also be a combination of the quality of the troops, i.e., for example, how good a shot they are, how well they follow orders. The thing is, there's so many variables involved as to why one side wins and why one side doesn't. Now, obviously, part of the problem that you have is part of the problem that, well, Mao would have in Napoleonic Wars, because you are essentially giving orders to people over the internet, and they are under no obligation to follow it. Okay, you might suffer the wrath of their commander, however, they do not have the formal training that men in the military would normally have. So the question is, do you expect them to be able to follow orders when given? Do you expect them to argue? Because these are all variables that can actually affect whether or not a team is successful. And bear in mind that each of these teams, they're not all on the same TeamSpeak necessarily. They might all be in opposing TeamSpeaks for each regiment. So that means then that you've got to communicate that information to all the various regiments as to move here, move there. That's why the 77Y has such an advantage, is because they all tend to be on the same server. There's Colonel Genie horsebound this time. And here is the Confederate State Cavalry. You can see getting himself set up. So, I don't think you can put it down to ability of the commanders, ability of the tactics. Soundness of the tactics. It's not as simple to tie it down to a single thing. Now, I will say, of course, you know, this will not stop people saying, oh yeah, so-and-so's crap, he doesn't know how to lead, blah, 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 or, yeah, these guys can't shoot for shit, etc. There's lots of flying cavalrymen over here. This looks to be a nice section. Oh my goodness, this is the 7th Cavalry. Holy crap, these boys are going to be a force to be reckoned with today. There you go. Look at them all. Private William, Magic Tea Towel, love the name. Ensign Mare with an epic face, obviously. And up there is Major General Lance. Looking very bonny today, I have to say. So, and in to assist from Connecticut come these fine fellows. So, they're hiding behind these fences. So, let's talk about things like tactics. I mean, because what you're talking about is a situation where you've got to control a line. You've got to move a line from one location to the other. Try and avoid any ambushes. It's about knowing the map. It's about knowing your opponent, the abilities of the weapons, how far you can actually get to within seeing distance of your enemy and not the range of their rifles. Now, this is obviously going to vary in comparison with the likes of Napoleonic Wars, because they don't have accuracy at distance, whereas they do in this game, because the bullets travel faster, they're more sort of cartridge based, there's more rifling, so therefore they're more accurate, and that's really what gives you the additional distance. So how would you go about doing a strategy on a game like this? Now, because obviously what you're looking at is you're looking at the cavalry. The cavalry don't really necessarily engage on their own. They look for an opportunity where a fight has begun, and they then charge in to assist. And you've got to pick your battles correctly. Oh dear, Patch has just drowned. Whoops. As more fire coming in there from US Colonel Tor, taking out poor old Corporal Kieran from Virginia. No more Virginian tobacco for that man. Brigadier General Sarge taken out. Oh dear. So you can see more of the fellows here. So these guys are waiting. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, why are these guys waiting? Why don't they just charge in? That's because these guys could die very quickly to a hail of controlled gunfire from riflemen. So they've got to pick and choose their time. Now, most of the time that would be when the opposing forces are off balance, when they are trying to deal with something else, like, for example, a melee charge by an opposing line. And that would be the opportunity. So that's why you'll see these guys either waiting, dismounting to provide additional firepower and cover, and other things like that. Now, obviously, firing from behind cover is pretty much the standard fare for most shooters, as you can imagine. So these guys making use of these fences to provide fire so that only the top part of their body is actually available on sight of the rifles being shot by the opposing forces. Now, one of the things that you see in Napoleonic Wars, and you've seen in pretty much every single battle, and also pretty much if you watch any of Napoleonic Wars, you watch any of Napoleon Total War. Oh, Major General Lance taken down by Winterhallis's cannonball. Lovely shot there. So poor old Lance catches a cannonball. So as you can see, it's not just in Napoleonic Wars that people have an ability to catch cannonballs with their faces. So now let's have a look, because these guys... Oh! Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. So these guys making themselves a little bit of... You can hear the crack that happens with the shots of the rifle. That basically means that that is actually travelling faster than the speed of sound. So over 700 miles an hour compared to the musket balls of Napoleonic Wars that travel at considerably less. So it's unlikely you'll hear a crack. So you can see here, making use of an upturned cart and barrel for the cover that it offers them. Not much, as you can see. So numbers 71 versus 83. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that overwhelming firepower usually helps in these kind of games. Now, obviously, if you're a group of 10 guns shooting back at 20 guns, you might take a few out, but you stand more to lose if you get hit. So numbers, keeping numbers together does actually help. So we're looking over here at the 2nd Tennessee line. So these guys obviously making use of cover. Unfortunately, they don't have an engineer with them to make use of that cover. Oh no! See what I mean? Major Creed taken down by Frankfurter, and look at the distance of that shot. That's going on for 100 meters. That's a pretty accurate shot, I have to say, and that's the advantages that these rifles give you in the game. One of the few advantages. The tactics have pretty much remained the same, which is why historically the American Civil War was probably one of the bloodiest wars in history up to around World War I. So these are things to bear in mind. So even in World War I, the doughboys, the Americans, when they joined World War I, they still used the tactics from the American Civil War. But unfortunately, the guns had been upgraded, but their tactics had not. Which means in their first encounter with the Germans in World War I, in one of the forests that they were then attacking through, they lost 10,000 men. And this is the kind of thing that you have to deal with. So you can see now these guys making their way over to a second section of cover. So essentially, because of the accuracy of these rifles, these guys are bouncing from cover section to cover section. Now, the problem is they don't have an engineer with them to build any kind of static defense to help them out. And you've also then got these guys who are now looking to outflank them on the left side. These guys now deciding to back off behind this fallen tree. There's a lovely growing tree. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Shooting from horsebag. Okay. Or is that from nosebag for the horses? So those guys, this poor fellow dodging left and right. You see this? They're basically trying to make it as hard as possible for them to, the enemy, to shoot them. Dodging the bullets, so to speak. So weaving back and forth as these Union troopers decide to disappear into the advantage that is the cover of trees and rocks. Another rather petrified wood tree there. So, as opposed to a what? A metal tree or a foam tree? Anyway, Volunteer Nigel, who looks distinctly female and not that pretty either. So we're now looking at Finn moving in from Tennessee. Nope, not a woman, but at least not with that beard. And Colonel Bacon taken down by North Carolina. Here we go. This is the battle that we're looking at the moment. This is the kind of thing that I was talking about. This is the opportunity that the enemy look for to try and take out line people. And you can see even it looks like a little bit of a battle going on between the two cavalries. So Galadion there as well. And this becomes essentially a big circling situation. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a fort of epic proportions. Look at that. That is just fantastic. That is really good. So there's Arthur Poshings in there. And that's a beautiful tent. Look at that. And then all of this defense all the way around. This protects them from the horses charging in. And then keeps the cannons going in one direction. The old high explosive parrots. Now these are parrot cannons. So developed later on obviously. Compared to the Confederate state cannons. So you can see them because of their black markings, or the black iron, so to speak. Yeah, it's probably the paint and stuff. So you can see Colonel Kent. Oh, saber slice, and he's going to hurt himself on the spikes. There we go. He's going down, and he's on the floor. So Volunteer Kent is no more. Won't be volunteering again. Now, obviously, you can see here. This is pretty standard stuff for any wartime game. Sitting behind cover, popping up from behind the cover, and taking a pot shot at the enemy. And then going back under cover. You'll see this in Napoleonic Wars. You'll see it in any modern military shooter. It's the kind of thing that you would expect common sense. You know, none of this, I'm going to stand in the middle of the field, not expect to get hit, and fire my bullet at everyone and expect to hit everybody. No. This is to a certain degree augmented reality. So here is Erenor. You can hear the cracking of the bullets come flying past. See these guys? They're dodging left and right to try and avoid those bullets. Here's Genie moving in as well. Looks like he's got a rifle as well. So these guys moving in as well. Looks like a few members as they get closer. That was Gwynedd there. Second Lieutenant Gwynedd being killed. Or one of the sergeants, and him then being teabagged. Even in front of the enemy guns. They have to stop for a teabag. So you can see now Union troops on the far wall here trying to defend. Oh, lovely kill there by Pluto from Indiana. Oh, Pluto going mad, taking down Haldir as well. So Pluto looks like he's trying to deal with that. And he gets asked a question by Yosef Sao, I should say. So you can see the final areas over here being dealt with by Union troops. Lord John trying to attack a tent. So, let's see. Here is Ichward Need. And you can see them now moving in and attacking hatted Scotsmen with bare shirts. And other Union troops. So you can see them slowly moving in. Trying to finish off what remains. Oh, there we go. There's Yannick coming in. And he is trying to take down other members with a nice sword slice from horseback. A Shaboinky taken down. Poor Shaboinky. And you can see here. Oh, there we go. So there he is using his six-shooter. So Yannick using his six-shooter. We now have another section over here of Confederate state troops coming in to assist in finishing off the members of the Union troops over on this corner. Oh dear. Happy with a quick kill onto Soldat 555. So the Union forces, as you can see, quite effectively wiped out. Oh, look at that. Poor old Private Vince finally taken down. And let's see if there's any more. There we go. There's the final man. United States Marine Corps Captain Alexander finally falls after a pitched battle by the wall. And the Union troops are now in desperate straits. 3 men versus 37. So. Ah! Comrade Lenin. And Samuel Shipley. So, both from Maryland. Now, I notice he doesn't have a lot of guns available to him. So, maybe he's in the punch-up brigade. I don't know. But he doesn't have a drum. I'm not seeing a flute. So, a little bit of drive-by saluting with the legless Obama. And there we go. That has been the second round over. Followed by a suicide by Lenin. We're on to the next round, boys and girls. And we have returned with the third round. And as you can see here, the Union troops moving out as Colonel McClellan looking dashing. And, oh dear, Recruit CT looking somewhat shiny and a tad legless. So, another man without legs. And Poutine is complaining about lack of legs. They were probably just blown off by a cannonball in the previous round, but never mind. Brigadier General Sarge leading his guys through the forests, out of spawn and into battle. So, up here we have a fine artillery placement. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Great position for the cannons. That view that you've got over to the left and over to the right. Oh, and then you can see the enemy encampment over the far side. This is the kind of stuff that Mr. Bacon looks forward to. Mr. Pork Product himself. And let's see, as these guys, obviously doing their calisthenics, working out, you know, running back and forth, up and down, running on the spot. And there, of course, is United States Artillery Colonel Tor. So, checking out via his binocs, through his all-seeing nose, of course. And let's see, as we move in and follow the Union troops, we jock from the 63rd New York through the cornfield. You can hear horns in the background. Yes, I know what you're thinking. There's the 6th Wisconsin, of course. And over here, past this storage area and cornfield, we have a detachment of the Confederate State Cavalry. Luran, or Luaran, holding onto the Confederate State flag, holding that with pride. Who is this fellow? First Lieutenant Eric. So the horses are getting a little restless. They want to get in. Oh dear, a little bit of, oh dear. So you can now see that what these guys are going to be trying to do is moving out to one side and trying to cut off the enemy from the rear. Now let's see if we can find out where that battle is going on. Poor old Finn dying within like 4 minutes of the round starting. That's a tad unfortunate. One of the downsides of these kind of games is you have to essentially sit out the whole round. But you know, it's kind of serves you right for catching a bullet to start with. Nah, I'm kidding really, obviously. So, here are all the defensive encampments of the Union. It looks like they're going to take a rather defensive strategy under the circumstances. Now, down the far side here, there is the cavalry. And here, of course, under control of Colonel Pickett, whose hat looks about 3 sizes too big for his head, we are looking at... Oh dear! Someone's T-boned a horse into a tree. I nearly said a tree into a horse, but yeah. Someone basically has been driving without due care and attention on their horse and crashed it into a tree. So, here is the Confederate State Army, the main... Yeah, the main section of the forces, and you can see there what they're shooting at is the men that are ensconced in this little hut. I suppose it's a little house area by the cornfields, the stalk corn there. So let's see who these fine fellows are. This is from the Tennessee Brigade. There's Golden Belly in there. Now the trouble is, you can see, let's have a look at the entries. They've got to break the windows in order to be able to shoot out of them. But these, yeah, I was about to say, these bricks will stop bullets, but they won't stop cannonballs, which is exactly what fired here. So these guys could be in a bit of a tricky situation. They've got the use of the extra cover, but it's only a matter of time before cannonballs start smashing massive great holes in it. But what they're going to be relying on is their Union colleagues to move up and actually support them. So maybe some Union colleagues moving in here and some more Union colleagues moving in on this side. Now you can see over here, the trouble is if they move into that location, they are going to be in an outflanked position by these fine fellows. So you can see uniform. Isn't that lovely? Master shot. Out with a 6-shooter. Doesn't he look determined and wonderful? You got a braid on his shoulders and arms. Isn't that wonderful? Gotta love musicians in this game. All I can say is to the games that are coming, I really want to see musicians. If there's not going to be musicians, I'm going to be pissed at you guys. So remember that. Okay, obviously we don't want an entire like orchestra or anything. That would be a... It's I suppose the closest is a Brave Sir Robin type situation, you know, with their own sort of personal flutist or drummer behind you. So never mind. Anyway, let's watch the Alabamans. There's Yannick, or Yannick, I think it is. Lieutenant General. With the cheapest hat ever. And Haldir, who appears to be trying to get onto one of these little standard carriages. You recognise those from the Old West. Around the same sort of period, so. There's 2211 Tiger. And, see, these guys are determined to stay. They're even setting up tents for everybody. I'm surprised we haven't seen a barbecue and a few other things, but this is a defensive area that is... Oh, God, that's going to be painful. This is a defensive area to try and stop horses coming through and things of that nature. So, these guys in this house are in a very, very difficult position right now because they are kind of pinned in from two directions. So, let's see. You can see the house is looking reasonably okay. He, on the other hand, is not. So you can see they've lost their commanding officer. But they do have Major Creed up the top. So Major Creed's still in a good position, looking... And not looking good for very long as that cannonball starts taking holes out of the walls. So let's move over to the Confederate state lines and find out what's going on. Now obviously this house nobody can get into, as you can see, because the windows are all boarded up. Sensible householders, as these Confederate state troops are taking pot shots at said house. So there's not much really to report at the moment. Numbers 80 versus 79, all looking pretty standard. Now, the only drawback is if a shootout goes on for too long, they're going to run out of ammo. And if they run out of ammo, then things are going to get very bloody. Random horse. Hello, random horse. So, for those of you who wanted to know, Aztir does play North and South, and here is a picture of him. There we go. So, anyway... Oh, he's going to hate me for that. There's Colonel Pickett in there, continuing to command his troops. Eventually, I think... Oh, see that? Cannonballs bouncing over the top. Looks like some of the barricades have been taken down, but from the 2nd Connecticut, more holes in this building. Colonel Reeves has just been taken down as well. This is not looking good for the 2nd Connecticut. Look at these fellows in a difficult position right now. They're kind of penned in. If they make a run for it, they'll have to make a run through the cornfields. But for some reason, no Union troops are moving up to support them. And this could be part of the reason why they're having some problems. Now, let's see what's going on. Yeah, looks like we can have a little bit of a Union versus Confederate state run-in as Kyle and Farfigher decide to cheese it in the opposite direction. Chased by Union troops. And Billy Yank going in there. Rifle butt the bejesus out of people. So, there you go. Rifle butts open the windows. Let's see. Oh, here comes the reinforcements. This is going to be messy. This is going to be messy. So, in come the reinforcements. Into the building. Oh, run for it. Run for it. Oh, dear. There we go. Look, so they're making a quick push up. Waiting. Arming their guns. And let's see what's going on. There we go. He's gone down. Just about to die by the piano. Oh, Brigadier General Sarge taken down by the Confederate state troops. More fire coming in. The Union troops making a run for it. Run for it. Cheese it. Cheese it. Don't hang around there. Don't hang around. These guys are coming in with bayonets and you're just skirmishers. So you've got to be careful. But they've been attacked from multiple directions. There's an engineer in. And the eventual end of the 2nd Connecticut here. Not looking good. So, as you can see, they were overwhelmed by superior numbers. Let's see if we can go back to the likes of this little house here. See what sort of holes it's got in it. Yep, so significant hole water going on. Definite Swiss cheese occurring. And you can see now the Confederate State Cavalry in there trying to take out the 7th Cavalry as well. Oh, look at that. Oh, dear. Poor horse. Oh, look at that. Flying over the Confederate State Cavalry. Oh, look at that. First Lieutenant Eric taken down. And he's now got a... Oh, good shot. Taking out Major General Lance. Oh, fantastic shot with a 6-shooter. Oh, look at this. This is a final end. This is fantastic stuff from Lieutenant Eric. Oh, goes out with the saber. Taking out Union troopers, mass fight in the middle of a cornfield, takes 1 stab, takes a 2nd stab, blocks the 3rd attack, and the trouble is he's under attack from 2 people at the same time, and is finally taken down. So, great play there. Unfortunately, Lance managing to capture a bullet from that attack. However, additional forces are in, including the beach-wearing bikini girl. And you can see members of the Union troops. Oh, that was unfortunate. Kieran taking out Jackie O'Carroll with a close-range shot. And you can see Colonel Pickett in there as well. Out with 6-shooter. And the remaining members of the Union troops are corralled up here. There's a fight going on in the top floor. This is messy. Oh, look at this. Bacon. Bacon taken down by Jeannie. So you can see here, lots of stabbing going on, numbers being trimmed. Oh dear, there goes Major Creed. Last man standing is Tetsu, or Testu. And that's it, boys and girls, on that one. Let's look at numbers. 36 versus 50. Ah, the United States Marine Corps. Now, come on, Live Shave, get over there. These guys are now moving in. Recently, bear in mind, their commanding officer was killed. And now, the 63rd New York, complete with the United States Marine Corps, are moving in. Wee Jock also in there as well. Looks like he might be going after the bikini girl. Difficult to say as they now move in. Oh, mass stabbings going on from Alabamans as well. You can see people taking shots through the buildings. And then coming round the back, Captain Hardy sneaking round the back with lots of his troops to try and take out members of these Union troops. These guys are now being attacked from both directions. Wee Jock better pay attention or that's going to happen. So Wee Jock is not so wee anymore. And the holes that are in his chest are not very wee either. And poor old Steele gets taken down. So, you know, that's a kind of standard thing. You've got to kind of protect your flanks. Essentially, the problem is that they got outflanked from the left side and taken out. So, very unfortunate there for the Union troops. 10 Union troopers are remaining on the battlefield. Ah, hello. Fort defensive with Samuel Shipley. Okay. Captain Hardy. Watching LA. Aha! New York City. Oh, rifle butt goodness. Okay, so there's Captain Angron. Colonel Genie. Oh, here we go. From New York Cavalry, who's still got some people in there. And they've got a couple of Union troops as well. From the 19th Indiana. So you can see them now trying to deal with the artillery of the Confederate States. In with the bayonets. Now, this must be a bit unnerving to be fighting against 2 men with no legs. So poor old Major Romanov, unfortunately, being taken down there. Oh, lovely stab from Vince, legless Vince. And you've also got this fine fellow back here. Recruit Maxey in with a rifle, but oh no, taken out as well. 15th Alabama wiped out in significant numbers. And unfortunately, reinforcements have arrived. Yeah, that didn't work. So, You've now got Invitational Pluto in there trying to deal with the Bikini Girl and the rest of her squad. So you've also then got in there Uber Brian. So, and there we go. The final member of the Union troops has been wiped out, and we are on to the next round. And so we return to the battlefield for the next round. Moving in on a collection of Union troopers and shirtless Scotsmen. So, oh dear. Someone's having a little bit of a serious moment at spawn there. Oh dear. Poor old John Morrison, unfortunately crashing by the looks of it. So he's disconnected. How's that affecting numbers? Not too bad. It's still dealable. So, here is the New York City Cavalry. Or the New York Cavalry. Bouncy horses completed. So it looks like... Oh, that's a sudden stop there. Attention, this horse is reversing. Objects in the mirrors may appear closer than they first appear. Or the first seem. I can't remember. It's only in America that they have that. I'm not sure why that is. Probably because there was some stupid idiot who flipping didn't realise the obvious. So. Oh dear! Submarine horse! Submarine horse! Oh dear, dead submarine horse. Who is the owner of submarine horse? Ah, Dralucard managed to make it out, but he lost his submarinal horse. As you can see. Not doing a good job down there. So, Winter Hallis, obviously. Unfortunately, having to disconnect. As it does get a bit late. This starts at sort of 9:30. So, you can see now, as we're watching the Confederate state troops moving into the tented area and these lovely wagons, which appears to be their go-to defensive area. Oh, Private George. Howdy there. So that what they're doing there, that spitting that you'll hear, is them biting the top off the cartridges, or sort of off the little sacks of gunpowder, along with the ball in it. So, hence the term biting the bullet. So, Dauto. I could be so completely wrong, but this is the internet. You guys don't care about reality, facts, all that kind of crap, otherwise you wouldn't be watching the video. Anyway, oh crikey, lots of Union troops firing through the corn. What I love about it is the fact that the corn is completely unaffected. Now, the trouble is the Union troops have taken a few hits on the side here. And these guys have got to be careful that they don't get outflanked. Who are they? 63rd New York. So these guys really got to watch themselves. Fortunately for them, reinforcements has just arrived. Well, some reinforcements. Some didn't actually even make it that far. But that's fire coming from this building here. Which, as you can see, there's an awful lot of smoke in here. And this is, of course, the 14th LA. You can see them all in here. Colonel Reeves taken down by Volunteer Amsterdam. And you can see lots of stabbing going on from Dithen as well. So this looks to be the... Did I just hear it? I just heard an organ or something out in the middle of nowhere. You got some kind of strange travelling organ, maybe? So, let's see. Who are these fellows? Indiana, Recruit Septimus, making their way down towards this smaller little housing section as we move through the cornfields and down to what is essentially the centre of the battlefield. So you can see over here, there we go, this is where the stabby goodness is occurring. Oh, there we go, poor old O Sergeant Engine. Got taken down with a bullet very close from Silicium. So let's see, is it all Confederate state in there? It is. Mostly Confederate state. Oh no, Nuclear Goat has just died. Great name, by the way. And let's see what's going on down here. People getting stuck in the doorway. Got to be... Oh dear! Finn T has just killed General Janik. Oh dear. Yeah, that's not going to go down well. Poor old Janik. Team killed. Never mind. Oh dear, what's going on over here? Erinor having some trouble with the Union forces, and he's stabbing horses back. So Brigadier General Sarge also unfortunately taken out, as we are looking at the 7th Cavalry Fellows. Major General Lance. So apparently that recent team kill was Yannick. He said it's his fault. So, you know, fair dues to the man. Fair dues to the man. When he makes a mistake, he admits it. So, good for him. So, let's see. Union Cavalry over the back there. Union Cavalry at the front. Now, what's going on over here? Oh! Was that a high explosive box? I think it may have been. A high explosive box may have just blown a very large hole in the side of this building. Invitational cutter. Not invited anymore. That's got to be a very sneaky high explosive box. I have to say, I like that. That's very good indeed. Oh, Pluto taking down poor old Genie. So Genie is out of it at the moment. And see, this is what I like about these guys. They're very polite. They like to close the gate after them and open it. And it's just, you know, they've been raised well. They've been raised well. Even though this guy seems to, Ward Knees seems to have some kind of violent opposition to doors. So, you know, maybe he was bitten by a door when he was a child. What's going on over here? This appears to be just some kind of mass shindig going on. Lots of dancing around. Random horses in the area, and people defending the artillery. So let's see. Bacon with the United States Marine Corps trying to defend his artillery from oncoming attacks. Master Shot capturing a bullet with his forehead. Lovely stuff indeed. And we're watching Private Shadow from the 2nd Wisconsin. Now, there's some guys out in the middle of the field. These guys are really pushing their luck. Ah, Lord John, Nozza, Lay. And you've obviously got the likes of these guys over here. Oh, Finn T captures a bullet from Tavington. Lovely shot by Tavington. So you've now seen, here we go, 24th Virginian moving in next to the 15th Alabams into the artillery location, and you've got these guys here from the United States Marine Corps with, of course, the Sisley one leading, and Steelgate and Live Shade all in there, hiding behind these defensive positions. Diamond Cripple Wolf, musician. They've decided to move out. There we go. They're charging. They're seeing. C for charge. That's the one you hit. They're now charging in these guys. These guys are going to have to move as Diamond Cripple Wolf is leading a charge in. There we go. Lord John taking down the Leprechaun, which is going to be bad luck for him. Stand still and be shot, God damn it. So you can see now the Bikini Girl fighting for survival. You don't stab a girl in a bikini. That's just rude. So let's go. It's defending herself pretty well. Oh, there we go. The girl in the bikini is down. And let's see who this is. Farfigher doing his best to try and defend, but he was just taken out from so many directions there. So it didn't really stand much of a chance. Now the Union troops are being moved in on by additional Confederate state forces. Major Paul, or Scout Small, taken out. And you can see here, First Lieutenant Williams, shirtless Scotsman, for the win. And a bit of a battle going on between Private Vince and Demi Kid, complete with his organ. Whoops-a-daisy! And English Hitman there. And Demi Kid finally being killed by Private Vince. So let's see what's going on. So it looks like the United States Marine Corps setting up in a very defensive-minded position, using their cannons to hold off the enemy, complete with wonderful engineers like Sapper Mr. Junior 23. putting down sandbags to aid in the defence. Now, the problem is they've got to watch their back. Now, over the side here, a few Union troopers holding the line. Who are these fellows? 7th Cavalry. The brave 7th Cavalry, holding their position. There's Tabington, or Muck Tabington, I suppose, because he's got a tartan on him. Mr. Muck Tabington, yeah, Muck Bullet Catcher, I think his name is also, from the famous Scottish Muck Bullet Catchers. So, let's see how things are going over by the defensive area of the Union troops. Now, this is interesting because the Union have 27 players and the Confederate State have 11. Oh, lovely shot. Who is this poor sod who's about to get beaten up in the worst way possible? He takes a shot at Luran, takes a shot there, and he's now dealing with the United States Marine Corps Bayonet Brigade. And 1 stab, 2 stabs, and not 1 team kill. So, that was quite impressive. And here come more. Oh dear, who's this poor sod in there? There we go, that's poor old the Beat. He was taken out. And let's see what's going on, because the Union are looking pretty good. Oh dear, so this is where all the legless... This is obviously the legless club. This is where all the legless people decide to wait. So you can see Sir Hal's in there, Private Eddie, Private Seal, and this is Colonel Tor. So this is where the... yeah, you can't come in this club if you've got legs. He's an interloper. That's not allowed. So, anyway. This is known as Fortress Win. Or maybe it could be FTW. Fortress Win. Fortress for the win, maybe? I don't know. Oh dear. Live shave. Has just been shaved by a bullet. And let's just wait and see. As some of the 7th Cavalry are being taken down there by Urabrian. And is there any more people in this? Well, I don't suppose you could call it a building per se anymore. It's more of a Swiss cheese. But I love how everything has been literally shattered. And the only thing that survives is the organ, virtually untouched. Look at that. Fantastic, isn't it? That's good engineering is what that is. So, looks like the Confederate State flag being picked up by Poutine. And he is moving out of the way. Let's see. Arthur Poshings. Now, it's very possible that these guys will have to make a push towards the Confederate State artillery. Because, if I'm right in thinking, that's all that's left. 2 of them. So it's these boys here. Legless Mr. Slayer. And Captain Angron. Oh, you see that cannonball just bounce right in front. Look at that. So there we go. Come flying over the top. So these guys are all that remains. This could be another win on the board here. Or possibly a round on the board for the Union troops. So now some of you might argue it's because they went maybe more defensive. But, you know, it's difficult to say. I will let you watch this video and judge from what you see. It is not for me to say so. You guys can form your own opinions. So, question is how many of them they can take out on their run over here. Stinking animals! It's the Herminator with members of the United States Marine Corps covering him. So they can't cross the river because the river is deep and wide. There we go. Now, oh, I don't know. Have they got a fording position? No, they haven't got a fording position. It's not going to go well for Sultai. As you can hear, he managed to get a breath of air there very quickly. Submarine Sultai, after the new Sul class, have to say, quite impressed. There's the bacon. Managed to make it across, but they're probably going to go in melee style anyway, so having cartridges won't be much of an issue. So there we go, Arthur Poshing's taken down, and a little bit of stabbiness going on. And there we have it, boys and girls, Tavington bullet catcher with the final kill. And that is the end of that round, and a win for the Union. And I think I can do another map change, so we'll be right back, boys and girls. And we're back with the final round. Now, this is a map I have not seen before. Look at this. Nice long train track right through the middle. That's another game I really need to get. There's another game I really need to get running on my machine. That's Railroads, which I do love. I love that game so much. Do enjoy it. Now, it could be because I'm reasonably okay at it. That could be the part of the reason why I like it. So anyway, this is the final round, and they are now live. So let's see. Here is Brigadier General Sergeant Pepper. So this is the spawn for the Confederate state. The Union spawn, diametrically opposite them, and roughly the same distance. So, little piles of hay, lots of defensive walls, and barns and things to hide down. So it's going to be a lot of urban fighting. Now, oh, look at that, isn't that lovely? Now, this I would say looks like the train station. So you can see here, nice log stepping going down. I do like the design of this map. This is very nice indeed. This sort of battle over the front of the, or over this section here, very interesting. What would make it even more interesting is if we had one of those great big huge colossal iron horses come rattling down here, maybe taking people out like some of the trains in the TF2 maps. That would be quite entertaining. See if people can actually pay attention and be like, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh crap, splat. That would be quite entertaining. But, you know, limitations of the engine. We'll see. So, the Confederate State cavalry hiding their numbers behind one of these barns. Looks like he's moving his troops out with the standard hold the sword up to follow me, as they're now trying to get away from the likes of this lot. Major General Lance, leading the 7th Cavalry, this time in line formation. Diamond Cripple Wolf, who is an insult to nature with that face. There is obviously Almanac. And you can see Colonel Reeves taken down very quickly as well. So you can see the cannons here. They will they need to move in further? Difficult to say. So let's see, the 7th Cavalry. Now the thing is, the problem is where they are at the moment, they might have to just sneak their heads over the top. So this area here where the train tracks have been built, it's got a little bit of a rise on it, so therefore it's difficult for them to get to it. So Major General Lance with a headshot. What's going on? Here, of course, the 2nd Tennessee. Now moving out. Saltai, unfortunately, catching a bullet. A nice shot there by Cowboy from North Carolina. Part of the German contingent of North Carolinians. And you can see, oh dear, oh, that went a bit messy. Where the hell was that exploding bullet box? Ah. There we go. Engineer Harrison, he set up a trap. So they heard the sizzle and they decided to run in the opposite direction. So smart play. Brigadier General Sarge being taken down. Poor Brigadier General Sarge. So you can now see Confederate State troops and Union troops running over the train tracks and running into problems. Let's see, because the likes of these guys from Alabama. It's not every road protected with sandbags, it's every road is protected with walls. These are retaining walls to hold the earth in place. So, Major Creed. And there's all from the 2nd Tennessee here. Oh, 63rd New York in there as well. taking pot shots at the enemy. Tavington, the 7th Cavalry, doing a good job, taking down multiple members of North Carolina Regiment. Who's that? There's Engine in there as well. Let's see if we can lock in to see what's going on, as I'm hearing a little bit of melee combat occurring. So the United States Marine Corps having trouble getting over a bench, and Brigadier General Sergeant Pepper moving in clippity-clop form. Now is he going to... No, he's going to avoid that. Here we go. Oh, hit a man when he's down. That's harsh. Who is that poor sod who's being attacked? This is Sergeant Luran under attack from multiple cavalry, and then being shot by Mo 3. So, from Connecticut. So, oh, a little bit of a head-on horse collision there going on, as now the Confederate State Cavalry flies off and goes after remaining members of the Iron Brigade and people like Sergeant McConnor. So these guys decided to back off. There's Mo 3, recent assassin, and let's have a look, as this looks to be the... Oh, gotta be careful, riding in front of the cannons. So here we go, defences being built around the cannon placements of the Union troops. And there is Artillery Lieutenant Sir Hal. So I'm seeing a little bit of stabby goodness going on. Here we go. As these guys are very defensive minded. Yeah, so the United States Marine Corps in there. Monsieur Bacon in the background. Monsieur Bacon is in trouble now, being attacked. Oh dear. And then Volunteer Lackey managed to take a bayonet meant for his commanding officer. So great sacrifice there by Lackey, allowing his commanding officer to continue surviving. And poor old Major General Lance there. Is that Lance there? It is, yeah. I think he fell on a steak. Or he might have just had a bad steak for dinner, I don't know. But... Oh, Yannick! Oh, fine shot there. Yannick coming in for a sneaky little charge onto these Union troopers and gets taken down. As fire coming in to the 19th RAI, and they're under a little bit of attack from the United States Marine Corps and of course the 7th Cavalry. There's a man in there with a drum doing his thing. Let's see if he can do it. Can he use it to block the drum? Let's see. Goes in and a slice across his back, takes down Colonel Jefferson Davis. So, let's see. More of the defending troops. Almanac getting taken down, shot from Capo, as these guys are making use of this multi-level barn as a defensive encampment. So a couple of guys down here. And let's look at numbers. 27 versus 38. So, still all to play for. Oh, look at that. Gladion just killed Captain Connor. Whoops-a-daisy. So, let's see. But it comes with lots of, what's the word I'm looking for? Lots of urban combat occurs in this, so it's a tricky game to play. So, let's see. Oh, a bit of stabby goodness. Oh, no. Private Pickett. Private Pickett, unfortunately. Coming a cropper, and we're watching Mailman. Oh, okay, this is defensively minded, if anything ever was. So there's Sir Hal. Dear oh dear. Fun stuff. So, there of course he is. Monsieur Tavington. Pain Mace in. There's Gator. As we've got... Oh, look at this fine fellow. Oh, okay, Colonel Voodoo. Unfortunately, he wasn't very fine for very long. He got stabbed. But, you can see lots of stabby goodness going in. Oh, no, Private Vince from Indiana. Stabbed through the window. And you've also now got from Tennessee, Testu moving in as well. Oh, no, his opponent moved. How rude. So he might be able to get into this position here. And you can see here, oh, wow, Tiger taken down, shot through the window, another shot from Tabington, taking down Score. These guys now having to move out. They're being forced out of the building into the loving arms of the Union troops. Invitational cutter there on horsebound, or horseborn, I should say. Oh, there, poor old Durbayer taken down. And it looks like Tabington taken down by Ishwarneed. So, Tabington, unfortunately, Tabington bullet catcher taken down by a drummer. So, Diamond Cripple Wolf in there at the moment. Tor gets taken down. So, let's see what's going on. These guys decided to stay put. So, let's see. Okay. Ooh. So let's check to see what goes on over here. Oh, Amsterdam losing his horse, very nearly losing his life to this murderous individual with a slight paunch. Actually, with no paunch at all. Right. Stand corrected. Oh, and he just grand theft horse. He just grand theft horse and rode out of there. So this guy's got to be careful, otherwise Diamond Cripple Wolf might shoot him. Let's see, where are the Confederate state? This is 8 versus 11. So this is a pretty tight match. Aha, Volunteer Kent. Oh, he got out of there very quickly. Oh, there we go, Musical killing, or being killed by Volunteer Kent. So let's see where the others are. So there's Volunteer Kent. There, of course, is Angron. As you can see, look at all these flipping cannonballs bouncing around by where he is, and he's still managed to stay out of the right way of those cannonballs. So, yeah, he's saying both sides charge. So you can see here the remaining members of the Confederate state. So 15th Alabama and Louisiana's. Oh, Volunteer Kent with a nice kill. Farfiger catching a bullet in the forehead. So you can see these guys here. There's a badly designed house when there's half a body hanging outside. So, let's see. Where's the charge gone? Here comes the charge. 6 versus 7. All to play for. Can the Union win another round? See, oh, Volunteer Kent being taken down. There's Finn as well. He's trying to avoid the bullets being fired at him, which he has done. Oh, and then taken down by a very nasty slice. Look at that. Arthur Poshing's doing his best. You don't mess with the shirtless Scotsman. Oh, look at that. Nice stab. And unfortunately, Arthur Posh taken down, or Poshing's taken down. 5 Union. Here's Sir Hal trying to deal with an enemy Confederate state trooper. Looks like doing some good blocking there with the saber. Oh, there we go. Amsterdam taken down by Mr. Noonan. Oh, there we go. Killed by Sir Hal. Sir Hal now one of the few men remaining. And let's see. Where is the remaining Confederate state trooper? He's nowhere because he just got slayed by Angron. So there you go, boys and girls. That has been another round won by the Union. So there we go, boys and girls. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed today's battle. And we'll see you all again next week. Take care, guys. Hope you enjoyed.